help me welcome Mr. Joel Crandall, please. Come on, guys.
Thank you very much, Harv. Thank you.
We're going to take a picture here. Come on, guys, hear it.
All right. Love the energy in here. Love it. All right. Thank you.
Those are clapping louder. just notice.
Well, hopefully we can keep it that way. Thank you very much, Harv. I'd like to thank Harv for this opportunity to stretch your mind a little bit, not just your body, because this is going to be very different than you're used to. So try and keep an open mind to it. This is active isolated stretching, the Mattis method. This was invented by Aaron Mattis about 35 years ago. This changes away a lot of people of stretching. Harv and I were just talking in the corner, and we're going to try and get you guys to do some of this stuff, but we were talking about stretching your hamstring and bringing your leg up here, and I'm leaning forward. Is that going to be stretching my hamstring? Why not? It tightens up your lower back, absolutely. It also tightened up my hamstring. Why did it do that? The antagonist, exactly. The muscle can only do two things, and we'll get into this a little bit later in the presentation. If I have my leg up here and I lean forward on it, that muscle has to contract to make so I don't fall over, okay? If a muscle is contracted, it cannot relax to be stretched. If a muscle is contracted, it cannot be relaxed to be stretched. So how are we going to do this then? Well, how we're going to do that is the agonist-antagonist relationship we'll get into a little bit more. But the purpose of stretching is to increase your range of motion of the joint, okay? Stretching will help relieve muscle soreness if it's done correctly. If I hold it for a minute or 2 minutes, you guys have all done that. What happens to that muscle? It starts screaming. It starts screaming at you. And the reason, lactic acid is building up. Blood flow is being constricted. Nutrients are being constricted from that area. What happens if you don't have oxygen, you don't have nutrients? You die. So your muscles are literally starving to death. Okay? Okay, so as we get older, we get stiffer. It's unfortunate, but it happens. The fascial tissue will start to contract and stiffen up. So we're going to try to elongate it with active isolated stretching. You guys hear basketball players all the time, they sprain their ankle and are out 4 to 6 weeks. We, as active isolated stretching practitioners, laugh at that. We laugh at that because as soon as that injury happens, we start moving it. And we'll have them back on the court in less than 20 minutes playing. Michael Jordan never missed a game. He sprained his ankle many times, but he never missed a game. Aaron Mattis worked with Michael Jordan. Many of these other great athletes have worked with Aaron Mattis. Michael Johnson, anybody hear of him? 19.32 in the 200 meters. Was a mediocre runner until he started using AIS. Became the best in the world. So tomorrow or Sunday, I believe you guys are going to go for a nice long walk. AIS, or active isolated stretching, is a great precursor or warm-up for your walk. We want to stretch out those calves. We all know how to stretch out our calves, right? Wrong. How would I do that if I can't stretch out my calf that way? Well, hopefully you can see me. I would just sit down on the floor, and I'd have my trusty rope with me, which unfortunately I didn't bring today. Can you not see? Okay. I'll try and do it here. Got me? Okay. So if I pull my toes toward my knee, I'd give a little pull for 2 seconds, let it go. pulling it up, 2 seconds, letting it go. And I would do that for 10 repetitions. That's going to open up your calf. Okay? We'll go in through a little bit more. We're going to do our neck. We're going to get everybody involved in doing the neck here. So Sheraton's law is what active isolated stretching is based on. It's the law of reciprocal inhibition or innervation, meaning if my bicep contracts, the tricep has to relax in order for that to happen. They both cannot contract at the same time. If that happens, I have an isometric contraction. Okay? So I gave you guys the answer already, but what are the two things a muscle can do? It can relax or contract. Not very smart, right? It's all controlled by the brain. The beauty of AIS is that not only working with the muscles and the fascial tissue, it's actually working on your nervous system. It's working on your lymphatic system. I saw there's some great vitamins outside are all being sold. But if your body tissues are tight and contracted, blood and oxygen can't get into those muscles, how are these vitamins going to get into the muscle? They're going to get blocked off. If you conjunction those vitamins with AIS, open up and free those tissues, now you got the nutrients coming in. See, it works synergistically with everything. That's the beauty of this. Jami said in 1992, passive myofascial stretching does not stimulate GTOs. Whew, right over our head, right? What does that mean? That means if I'm doing something passive, just standing here, there is going to be no Golgi tendons is what controls your muscle length, all right? If it's not activated, it won't reset its muscle length in your brain. So if you're laying there on a massage table, getting massaged, it feels really good, but the muscles aren't getting any longer because you're not an active participant. With active isolated stretching, you are an active participant. As a practitioner, I'm your assistant. I am moving with you. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do it to yourself. So here we are. Prolonged static stretching, which we talked about earlier, actually decreases the blood flow, creates localized ischemia. Ischemia could be, I'll say could be so I don't get in trouble, the largest contributor to disease. That's why flexibility is so important, as Harv said earlier. Aaron Mattis, the potential of irritation and injury of local muscular, tendon, and lymphatic, as well as neural tissues, the effects of consequences of passive or prolonged static stretching causes overuse syndromes. Yes. Translated, it means you're more apt to injury because the muscle has been starved. And now you're going to get ready and move, right? Not going to happen. Okay?